Did I ever tell you that when I was in high school, I got in trouble for being on my phone, like in the hallway, and they tried to confiscate my phone, and I was like, but I won't be able to talk to my parents. They're deaf, and I can only text them. And they were like, what? Well, we'll call them. I was like, you can't. And I got my phone back. Everybody else lost theirs. Did I ever tell you that?
No, that's new to me. Really?
Shame on me, right? But yeah, no, I got to keep my phone. What's it like to have hearing parents?
It's not a question for me. I know what's like having hearing parents.
I don't. I was really young when I started answering the phone, right? The landline?
Yeah, very young. So we could never use the phone. We depended on a TTY. But people were calling us all the time without the TTY. So we would answer the phone and I'm sorry, we can understand what you're saying, so we'll give you the phone. But eventually what happened was that you started taking all the calls. We became dependent on you for all the phone calls.
How old was I?
And you were like 40 years old.
Oh, 4? Wow, I tell people I was 2. I really embellished that story. I'm like, I had such a vocabulary.
You started helping, I mean, when you took over the phones, we were 4.
Okay.
But you started actually trying to help us on the phone at about 3.5 or so.
How many times did because I would occasionally call from the nurse's office, I remember so many times calling and trying to talk to you on the phone to say, Dad, come pick me up. And you'd be like, what? Like, please, come pick me up. You can tell me now. Did you know I was asking to be picked up?
No. When people realized that I was not doing well on the phone, they would never bother calling me or continue the relationship because they said, oh, it's too difficult to talk with this guy, it's not worth it. I tried everything. I would go to conventions and look for telephony technology just to find a way to make phone calls.
You're telling me this like I wasn't the guinea pig that got hundreds of calls with you trying out all the technology.
I'm trying this out. Do you hear me? Let me see if I can understand you. And you would talk to me and say, this is not working.
Hold on, can you talk louder? Talk slower. Talk faster. No, that's not it. Okay, bye.
And then that first call with InnoCaption,
that was,
I called you on InnoCaption and you were blown. What are you using that? And I'm using this new app called InnoCaption.
I remember thinking that it was the first time I talked to you like you were hearing, and then trying to talk a little faster, and then talk a little slower, and then not enunciate as much. And I remember thinking, whatever it is that we can do to get you this service, that's what we were going to do.
Yeah, and that was the first time I was able to have a fun conversation on a mobile phone.
Yeah. Do you remember the learning curve to when you had InnoCaption and we had both started working for InnoCaption, but there was probably that 6-month or 8-month period that you'd be like, oh, can you call this company for me? And I'd be like, you could call, and you'd be like, oh, right, I can call.
I was so used to depending on you for phone calls. And then I forgot I had InnoCaption.
Do you remember how you felt when you were using InnoCaption for the first time?
Oh yeah, I felt very hopeful. I saw the technology was like 10 years ahead of everybody else. And I had to find a way to get involved with that technology. And eventually I did. And that was the best decision ever.
So if you had to choose out of the 4 of us, like gun to your head, who's your favorite child? Like you have to choose. If you say no one, they just kill all of us.
I've said many times, and I always do say this, I have no favorites.
So you just want all of us dead then? That's this hypothetical.
No, I want all of you.
What if we turn off the camera? Then will you answer the question?